James Charles. You know the name, right? He's one of the absolutely biggest beauty influencers on the planet. We're talking millions of followers, his own brand, massive collaborations with industry giants, and quite possibly the single most canceled internet figure of the past decade. His career is just this relentless roller coaster of sudden, massive collapses, and then totally surprising comebacks. Every single time you think the dust has finally settled, boom, a new headline breaks. So, settle in, because for this 14-minute explainer, we are going to stick strictly to the script of his career and do a deep dive visual analysis of every time James Charles was canceled. We're going to trace this whole timeline, from a feud that literally altered the internet landscape to severe allegations that threatened his whole career, right up to a massive controversy in 2026. Stick around, because you're going to see how some of these scandals actually overlap before the public even has time to process the last one. Here is the roadmap for today. Number 1, the rise of a star. 2, the Toddy Westbrook feud. 3, underage allegations. 4, the slow return. 5, the Spirit Airlines controversy. And finally, 6, the pattern of cancellation.
Section 1. Rise of a Star. The Unprecedented Ascent.
Okay, to really understand the sheer severity of his falls, we first need to look at the incredible, almost unbelievable speed of his rise to fame. I mean, the foundation of his career was built almost overnight. Back in 2016, as a 16-year-old from Bethlehem, New York, Charles posts his senior yearbook photo online. Armed with just a ring light and some glowing highlighter, that photo goes viral in mere hours. That exact same year, he makes history as CoverGirl's first ever male brand ambassador. It was lightning in a bottle. From there, the momentum was just unstoppable. He's on the Ellen DeGeneres show, launching insanely lucrative collaborations with Morphe, including an eyeshadow palette that sold out instantly, and building this fiercely dedicated fan base he affectionately called his sisters. But early 2019, he crosses the massive milestone of 10 million subscribers on YouTube. 10 million. That is a staggering level of influence. But as we know, immense, rapid fame brings microscopic scrutiny to everything you do and say. The pressure was definitely on, and that foundation was about to be severely tested. Section 2. The Toddy Westbrook feud. The first earthquake. Before the main earthquake hit, there were some pretty serious rumblings. Let's group these early 2019 incidents as a prelude to the feud. In March, at Coachella, Charles is seen with model Gage Gomez. When fans asked if they were together, Charles tweeted implications that Gomez, who identifies as straight, was secretly interested in men. The internet immediately called this out as crossing boundaries. CoverGirl even took the step of publicly distancing themselves from his statements. Charles apologizes. Then, shortly after, in a vlog with YouTuber Jeff Wittick, Charles makes comments about transgender men that were widely labeled as transphobic. Boom, another swift apology is issued. 2 incidents, 2 apologies, in just a matter of weeks. For most people, that's a career-ending crisis, but for James Charles, it was basically just a warm-up. Which brings us to May 2019. If we want to really ground this massive internet drama, we have to look at its simple corporate root cause, a business betrayal. Toddy Westbrook was this highly respected voice in the beauty community, and crucially, a close mentor to Charles. She had really helped boost his early career. But the rift happens when Charles posts an Instagram story promoting Sugar Bear hair vitamins, which is a direct competitor to Westbrook's own supplement line, Halo Beauty. To Westbrook, this felt like the ultimate betrayal from a friend she had heavily supported. So, on May 10th, 2019, Westbrook posts a video titled Bye Sister. In this incredibly long, 43-minute, highly emotional video, she publicly severs their friendship. She accuses him not just of business disloyalty, but also of manipulative behavior towards straight men. And the fallout was insane. The video was viewed tens of millions of times within 24 hours. Other huge creators jumped in, fueling the fire. The immediate consequence was one of the fastest and largest subscriber drops in YouTube history at the time. Millions abandoned his channel, and his upcoming nationwide Sisters Tour was completely canceled. Now, Westbrook did later retract some claims, and his subscriber count partially recovered, but the mainstream public had officially been introduced to James Charles as a highly controversial figure. Section 3. Underage allegations. The darkest hour. Now, he did manage a comeback in 2020 with a hit reality show called Instant Influencer, even winning a Streamy Award. But as we move into 2021, it is important to objectively examine the events that represent the darkest hour of his career. In February 2021, a 16-year-old TikTok personality named Isaiah alleged that Charles had sent him sexually explicit messages and images via Snapchat. Charles immediately responded, denying grooming and stating that the individual had told him he was 18. However, by March, over 15 other individuals came forward with similar claims of unsolicited explicit photos and sexually charged conversations. On April 1st, Charles released a 14-minute video titled "Holding Myself Accountable." In it, he admitted to sending explicit messages to 2 individuals under 18, but maintained that both had claimed to be of legal age. He called his own behavior reckless and desperate and issued an apology. Isaiah, however, publicly denied ever lying about his age to Charles.
The business severity of the 2021 scandals escalated dramatically when compared to 2019. The consequences this time were heavily structural. YouTube stepped in and temporarily demonetized his channel entirely under their creator responsibility policy. Morphe, his most significant corporate partner, announced they were completely ending their relationship and phasing out his product lines, which actually led to fans posting videos of themselves smashing his makeup palettes. Finally, his award-winning show, Instant Influencer, was canceled, and YouTube confirmed he would definitely not return as host. Charles retreated from the public eye, later stating the immense personal toll this specific period took on his life and his family relationships. Section 4. The Slow Return, Silence, and Rebuilding. Following that incredibly severe fallout in 2021, Charles stepped way back into the shadows. The wave of criticism had fundamentally fractured his image, and for a really long period, there were no major launches, no reality shows, and very few media appearances. His slow return to the public sphere literally took years. In 2023, he attempted a fresh start by launching his own vegan beauty brand called Painted, his first major business venture since the whole Morphe debacle. Around this time, he also spoke pretty openly in a Cosmopolitan interview about his deep desire to be uncanceled, proving that the label was clearly still weighing heavily on him. Fast forward to 2024 and 2025, and he begins reinventing himself even further, launching a music career and previewing new material at Coachella, which is ironic considering that's the exact location where his 2019 troubles began. He was slowly, cautiously trying to carve out a space for himself again. Section 5. The Spirit Airlines Controversy, a Rapid Backlash. But hey, in the world of James Charles, the quiet periods rarely last, right? Fast forward to 2026, where a completely different type of controversy demonstrates how easily this cycle can just spark right up again. The crucial point here is the sheer tone deafness of his response. In 2026, Spirit Airlines goes bankrupt, resulting in 17,000 sudden job losses. An ex-employee, Amber Lenda Vargas, politely sends a private TikTok DM to Charles, just asking if he'd consider contributing to her GoFundMe. Charles' response? He posts a highly public TikTok video reading and actively mocking her request, right in the middle of widespread economic hardship. As you can imagine, the backlash was instantaneous. Charles quickly deletes the video and apologizes to Vargas privately, but Vargas wasn't having it. She shared those messages publicly and even turns his apology into an AI-generated song that absolutely blew up on TikTok. There is a fascinating flip side to this internet virality, though. While 17,000 employees were unfortunately fired, the massive, concentrated outrage directed at Charles actually drove over $41,000 in donations straight into Vargas's GoFundMe campaign. And the 2026 controversy didn't even end there. Ethan Klein, the host of the H3 podcast and a longtime vocal critic of Charles, actually spent $10,000 to put up a massive billboard right in downtown Los Angeles criticizing Charles, heavily referencing those 2021 allegations. Mysteriously, the billboard vanished within just 2 days, which sparked a ton of online speculation that Charles's team had pulled some serious strings behind the scenes to get it taken down. Section 6. The Pattern of Cancellation, the Resolution. Let's take a step back from the individual events for a second and shift into a more analytical gear. Because when you lay this entire decade out side by side, the macro pattern of his career becomes undeniably, glaringly clear. There is an exact algorithmic script to a James Charles cancellation. Step 1. A massive controversy breaks out, whether it's a feud over gummy vitamins or severe allegations regarding minors. Step 2. Charles disappears from the radar, entering a strict period of silence. Step 3. An apology is issued, almost always framed around the word accountability. And finally, Step 4. After weeks, months, or even years, this slow comeback begins with new brands, new shows, or new music. It is just a continuous, unbreakable loop of scandal, silence, and return. Which leaves us with this final thought. James Charles remains one of the most heavily discussed figures in the entire history of internet fame. Whether you view his journey as a genuine testament to second chances or as living proof that the cycle of cancel culture rarely enforces any kind of permanent change, one thing is absolutely certain. This loop is likely far from over. I want you to really think about which of these controversies stands out to you the most, and ask yourself,
Will this cycle ever truly break? Thank you so much for joining me for this visual analysis, and keep questioning the patterns you see online.